Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a vast, mysterious forest, there lived a sweet little girl known by everyone as Little Red Riding Hood. She was called this because of the bright red cloak with a hood that her grandmother had sewn for her. It was her favorite garment, and she wore it wherever she went. One sunny morning, her mother called her. "Red Riding Hood, your grandmother is feeling ill. Please take this basket of food to her cottage in the forest and make sure you stay on the path," she said, handing her a basket filled with bread, cheese, and sweet treats. "I will, Mother," Red Riding Hood replied cheerfully, putting on her red hood and stepping out into the forest. The birds were singing and the flowers were in full bloom, but the forest also had its dark, whispering shadows. As she walked, she hummed a tune, enjoying the warm sunlight filtering through the trees. Suddenly, a clever wolf appeared from behind a bush. His eyes gleamed with curiosity and hunger. "Good morning, little girl. Where are you going on this fine day?" the wolf asked, speaking with a sly smile. "To my grandmother's house," Red Riding Hood replied politely. "She is sick and I'm bringing her some food." The wolf nodded thoughtfully. "How kind of you. But tell me, dear, why don't you pick some of these beautiful flowers along the way? Your grandmother would surely love them." Red Riding Hood looked around and saw a patch of bright, colorful flowers nearby. Excited, she wandered off the path to gather them, forgetting her mother's warning. Meanwhile, the wolf, realizing he had an opportunity, ran quickly along the forest trail toward the grandmother's house. He arrived before Red Riding Hood and knocked on the door. "Who is it?" called the grandmother from inside. "It's me, Red Riding Hood." The wolf imitated her voice as best as he could. "I've brought you a basket of goodies." The grandmother, feeling weak and unwell, didn't suspect anything. The wolf quickly pushed the door open, gobbled her up, and hid under her bed, putting on her nightcap to disguise himself. Soon after, Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage, carrying her basket of flowers and treats. She noticed the door slightly ajar, but thought nothing of it. "Grandmother, I've brought you some food," she said, stepping inside. "Come closer, my dear," the wolf said, trying to mimic the grandmother's voice. "The bed feels so cold. You should come closer." Red Riding Hood approached and noticed something strange. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have!" she exclaimed. "All the better to see you with, my dear," the wolf replied. "And grandmother, what big ears you have!" "All the better to hear you with, my dear," said the wolf. "And what big teeth you have," Red Riding Hood said, finally realizing the danger. "All the better to eat you with," shouted the wolf, leaping from the bed. Red Riding Hood screamed and tried to run, but the wolf was fast. At that moment, a brave woodcutter, who had been passing by the cottage, heard her cries. He rushed inside and, seeing the wolf, struck him on the head with his axe. The wolf fell to the ground, and the woodcutter freed the grandmother from the wolf's belly, unharmed. Red Riding Hood hugged her grandmother tightly, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I'll never stray from the path again," she promised. The grandmother smiled. "It's all right, my dear. You've learned an important lesson." From that day on, Little Red Riding Hood always stayed on the path when visiting her grandmother. She also remembered the bravery of the woodcutter and the importance of listening to her mother's advice. And so, the forest remained peaceful, the villagers safe, and Red Riding Hood grew up wise and careful, always wearing her bright red cloak with pride. Hey there! If you love beautiful animated stories, don't forget to subscribe and join our growing family at Beautiful Stories AI.